There it is. So we got the chat window showing up. That's nice, and we have the air conditioner exchanging going on. That's still happening. I don't know why there's such a gap there, or why that's that way. I don't know why things are the way they are. I just got to tell you, having a rough day, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rough day. Some of you may have heard some things you weren't supposed to hear. And you can't see any of that, so that's cool. I was experiencing my frustration earlier. So bear with me. A last second attempt to fix something that I can't fix. It's supposed to be a positive day. It's supposed to be a good way of starting Sunday. Supposed to have a good time. And I'll be daggone if I'm not losing my mind Sunday mornings. I have, for no reason whatsoever, I can't even begin to explain, I can't get the Mevo to connect. I cannot get the Mevo, I'm looking at the Mevo that's not even there, I can't get it to connect. I have successfully got it to connect many other times. All right. That's not what this is supposed to be. This is not supposed to be me losing my mind. It's not what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a good time, just a few minutes on your Sunday morning, joke around a little bit, learn a little bit, have a little trivia contest, and then go have a stiff drink. That's what this is supposed to be. Because fudgesicles, I am beyond angry this morning. I cannot, again, the Mevo camera, it's the one I use all the time. It's a great camera, but it's very finicky. It will work when it wants to work. It will not work when it doesn't want to work, and it will eat up all of my time trying to get it to work. So, of course, I come down here an hour in advance to get everything going, and it's just can't connect, retry, can't connect, retry, and none of that happens in real time. That takes a long time to happen. It's can't connect, wait 5 minutes, retry. Meanwhile, my microphone is on. I didn't know. The placeholder is in place. That I did know. And I had some comments. So I got Walt. Good morning, my brother. I have Stacy, or as I like to say every time I see Stacy's name, a mother. Yes, and he is the one who let me know you heard that. Brian is with us. And yes, I did try rebooting. I want to kick you in the nuts. And Roger is correct. Anyone who knows me knows I lost my mind years ago. So you can see over there on the right-hand side an ugly chat box. And I see that it's jacked up. And I tried to fix it. I went over here and I double-clicked on that window capture thing. And it's right there. I could see it. And I say, okay. That's what I say. Oh, when I talk to myself out loud, okay. And then it just doesn't. It just doesn't. So you get this instead. That's what I get. No, if I can't have it, you can't have it. And I don't even know where that little thing's coming from. So I'm going to delete it. Again, this is kind of to my benefit. It doesn't really help at all. One more time, as they say, one more time. No, not working. Not working, and I don't care. I don't care. Well, I care now because you're not supposed to see that. I want to celebrate one more time. Just delete it. Just get rid of it. It's gone. It's back to just plain old me. Hello, everybody. Yes, Brian, it is operator error. I clearly don't know how to do any of this stuff. I think I do pretty well for somebody who trained himself. But there are moments, there are times when I just want to take a big hammer to everything I own. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying. Please forgive. It's been a great weekend. We've done a lot of stuff, got a lot of comedy that was going on this weekend, and because of that, I don't really have anything to promote. because we've already done it all. They got the roast show coming up on Friday, but none of you are making it out for that. I mean, very few of you came out for the thing that I was promoting, the last thing I was doing. And I understand you live all over the world. That's fine. It's okay. Here we go with your national days of the week. I know, yeah, and for some reason, Skype has been infected by bots, and I'm getting like 40,000 messages a day from Skype that I can't turn off. And now it's time for your national days of the week. Starting with the 23rd. How appropriate. The 23rd of June, also known as National Let It Go Day. And sometimes the best things you can do is just let it go. If you have children, you probably know the song. It's the words "Let It Go," but set to a melodic tone. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Haktua. Some things, sometimes for your own personal mental wellness, mental well-being, the best thing you can do is just let it go. No matter what it is, whether it's relationships or grievances, I have found personally, and don't forget I am a licensed life coach, that sometimes you just let it go. You just move on. And things have a tendency to work themselves out. I have let this morning's frustrations go. And prior to the next supplemental, I'll have them fixed. Haktua to you all. On the 24th, we have one of those crazy ones. The 24th is National Relationship Equity Days. You know, because of the gender roles in relationships and misogyny and all the other just garbage, nonsense. Don't ever let a National Day of the Week website tell you that you need gender equity in your relationship. What you need in a relationship, life coach speaking it, I think every time life coach speaks, the voice drops. Again, from your licensed life coach. No, that doesn't work for me. Every relationship needs this. Balance. You learn to accommodate one another's feelings and emotions and insights and well-being, and they do their part and you do their part, your part, and together you work on this thing, and you constantly work on this thing to make this thing better. There's nobody out there that's keeping score. You think you're doing 90% of the work and your partner's only doing 10% of the work. No one's keeping score. If your partner's good with doing 90%, you're good with 10%. It sounds like you've reached equity or balance, more appropriately. So, although Relationship Equity Day is the 24th, just take a little time to reevaluate your relationship and kiss the spouse. Give them a 30-second hug. Hugs are supposed to like a good quality hug. All right. Hey, I haven't seen my friend in a long time. I roll up on him. I hug him. I give him 3 pats on the back. End of hug. But that hug that you need, like the 8 hugs you're supposed to receive a day that do all the magic in creating all the endorphins, is like a 30-second hug. And if you're not giving your loved one a couple of 30-second hugs a day, well, work on that. Not who did the dishes today. Don't work on that. I just read the National Days of the Week. I don't necessarily agree with them. Moving on. The 25th is National, I'm not going to say your name because you committed suicide, and I don't respect that, day. It's a day named after someone famous who killed themselves, who I enjoyed them. But they killed themselves, so I won't mention their name. So I'm really not even going to give them a day. There is names I will mention. If your name is Leon, where did all the Leons go? I used to know a bunch of Leons. And now I don't know any Leons. All the Leons have gone. Or are they all now Leons? Are all my Leons now Leons? Like my Dariuses, or like my Dariuses are now Darius? On National Leon Day, that's the 25th. Find yourself a Leon. Do me a favor. Find yourself a Leon and take a picture with them to prove to me that Leons still exist out there. And yes, I do know a white Leon. I'm just saying. The 26th is National Forgiveness Day. I think there's a theme for this week. There's Let It Go, and there's other ones that I kind of ignored that are on the same path. But if you let it go, forgive those if you can. It is a challenge we all understand. But if you have the ability of forgiving somebody for a wrong, perceived wrong, whether real or actual, then Ponce de Leon, he's gone too. He's not there. Where have all the Leons gone? Yeah, so the 26th is National Forgiveness Day. If you can find it in your heart to forgive someone for something that they did to you, trust me, it's better for you to let it go. Today, on Let It Go Day, start thinking about who you're going to forgive on National Forgiveness Day, which is the 26th. Just forgive them and let it go. That's the theme this week. Moving on, right? You can't move forward if you're always looking in the rearview mirror, because you're going to crash into something. Rip down the rearview mirror and just drive on. No, drop the grudges. Here we go. So the 27th of June, I could have gotten into a lot of trouble. There was a whole bunch of options there that I would have taken down a very controversial route, and people would not have liked me, or they would have loved me more. Controversy is a weird thing. It stirs emotions on both sides. So instead, I chose the safe route and went with National Ice Cream Cake Day. Now, if you can get yourself a Carvel, I recommend getting yourself a Carvel, because they are the best, without a doubt, ice cream cakes in the world. Carvel ice cream cakes. But there are other places that make ice cream cakes. But it's important that your ice cream looks like a cake. There are different types, like the Walmart ice cream cake is where they slip some cake, and they slip some ice cream in between two layers of cake. Like, here's your ice cream cake. And then there's the Carvel, which looks like a cake, and then you take your spoon and you cut into it, and it's all ice cream, baby. It's National Ice Cream Day on the 27th. On the 28th, a lot of name days this week, is National Lauren Day. Now, since moving to central Pennsylvania, I have found that is a very popular Whaley. Sorry, I got distracted by the comments. The Lauren, since moving to central Pennsylvania, I have learned that version of a name, Lori, Laura, Lauren, Loren, is a very popular name in this area. So popular that I don't know from Wixt. I don't know. Who is what. I meet a Lori, then I meet a Laura, then I meet a Lauren, then I meet a Lauren, and I just hi, because I can't remember the emphasis on the syllable that I'm supposed to use. Anyway, whatever way you call your Laurens, the 28th is National Lauren Day, so do something special for your Lauren, Lauren, Lorelei. Moving on, finally, the 29th of June, it's Paolo, it's Pietro. It's Paolo and Pietro. It's Peter, it's Paul, no Mary. It's Peter and Paul Day. St. Peter, St. Paul Day. So if you got yourself some Pietros, some Peters, some Paulos, some Paulos, some Pauls, they're all buying beer because it's their name day. when Lauren has a name day, she probably shouldn't buy beer because Laurens are always wonderful people. So far as I know. I saw a comment there I missed. I still hate a mofo from middle school. He names him. Ain't seen him since '84. Let it go, Brian. On National Let It Go Day. The 29th, Peter and Paul, No Mary Day. That has been your National Days of the Week. I just started burping for no real reason. And now I have to do some magic here and pull up This Week in History. Like I mentioned, we've been doing a lot of things, a lot of supported things this week. We just finished with the summer showcase that was last night. The guys did a great job. We had a good time there at the Comedy Zone of Harrisburg. Yes, Mr. Taney does show up late as the fan of the week. I want to revoke it, but I won't. You can go back and listen to the rest. We're getting ready to move on to This Week in History, but I'm just explaining that I don't have a community service event to promote this week. Now, if you've got anything going on and you want... Peter Paul's got deep milk chocolate, coconut, and crunchy nut too. Ooh, Mound's got deep milk chocolate. Yes, good call. Good way of bringing back an old, great one. If you've got anything you want promoted, you got anything that you have going on, please let me know. If you give me a couple weeks advantage, I'll give you some free publicity for it for, the tens and tens of people who pay attention to any of the products I create on a weekly basis. Moving on. No, I haven't seen the race. Austin, shut your mouth. Do not. I will. It is race day. And it's in Barcelona. It's a big race. I want to be there, but I can't be there. But our schedules did not converge. So me and the spouse are watching this together. Do not ruin this for me. I will not let it go. I will hate you forever. So, all right. Summerfest on the base, January 29th. I believe that's June 29th. I do not have, and it's a limited audience, but I will put that out. I will put that out, the Summerfest on the base, for those of you in the central Pennsylvania area and for those of you who have access to the base. I need to slip a screen over here. I need to take my AI. There she is. I saw that you said you won't, and I see you guys are messing with me, so I'm just going to cover up the chat. I'm not going to pay attention to anything you guys say anymore, because if one of you tells me who wins, I'm going to be very upset, because I haven't got to watch it yet. Here we go with This Week in History, trivia style. Now, look, I love you all. You're all friends of mine, okay? I'm going to have to look at the chat as we do these questions. So do not tell me who the winner is, or tease me with who the winner is, or suggest who the winner is. Don't do any of that. I have to be able to do the questions, and I have to be able to look at your responses. Question number 1. Which famous battle, God bless it, we already did these. This Week in History, it did give me, hold on. No. I may have, perhaps. Here we go. Yes. We're good. That's funny. I don't like it that you did that, because it could have, but it's funny. Number 1, for This Week in History, trivia styled, what famous scientist was born on June 15th, 1767? June 15th, 1767. We're not talking about a spring chicken here, okay? It's not Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're talking about a famous scientist who was born a long time ago. June 15th, 1767. And when I asked it for This Week in History, I guess it went for this last week in history. So that's okay. No problem. Don't worry about it. AI's doing a great job. There are some options, and I'll give them to you in the order that they're listed here. Austin's guess is giddy. Wrong. Was it Isaac Newton? Was it Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, or Charles Darwin? Now, those are your options. Was it Newton, Einstein, Curie, or Darwin? And I asked AI not to make them too difficult. Not that I underestimate you. I think you all are very smart people, but I don't think this one requires a college degree to get right. Who was born in 1767? I got a Darwin. I got a Newton, question mark. I'm gonna try. I can't do dead air. I have to talk through these things. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I'm looking for more guesses. Again, what famous scientist was born on June 15th, 1767? Your options are Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, or Charles Darwin. The only guesses I have so far are Newton and Darwin. I can tell you, I got another Newton. Okay. 2 Newtons and a Darwin. Sounds like a snack. I can tell you, I have seen pictures. Charles Darwin is another guess. I have seen pictures of Albert Einstein. Actual video of him. There's no way he was born in 1767. Say apple as a hint and yeah, you're right. Albert Einstein, I've seen pictures of him. Marie Curie, the element she discovered. Yeah, Charles Darwin. I do not know the correct answer. I am going with Mr. Taney and anyone else who chose Isaac Newton. I'm not explaining my answer to you. I choose Isaac Newton because the other 3 were alive a lot later in life than 1767. My guess. Number 2, what significant event occurred on June 6th, 1904 in Dublin, Ireland? A significant event, June 16th, 1904 in Dublin, Ireland. There are some options available to you. Was it the Easter Rising? Was it the Great Famine? I wouldn't imagine a great famine occurring on a single day. Like everybody starved on that day. Probably not. The publication of Ulysses by James Joyce, which if you would have watched last week, you would remember that James Joyce published Ulysses. And we all got that wrong. Or finally, was it the signing of the Good Friday Agreement? It's June 16th. It's 1904. What do you think it was? I have locked in my answer. I know what I think the answer is. Brian goes with James Joyce. I think we all can agree it wasn't the Great Famine because not everybody can starve on one day. The timing on that. The 79s is what he's saying. Good Friday is what Robert's saying. Ulysses is what Austin is saying. Again, and you're free to throw in your answers if I've missed anybody. I agree. I think it's Ulysses. I think Ulysses was published on June 16th, 1904. But we'll find out together when we get to the answers. That was a cool thing about AI and allowing AI to make these questions for me. I could play along now. On June 17th, 1972, 5 men were arrested for breaking into what building? With the exception of Austin, everybody else in this room right now, or maybe James, with the exception of Austin and James, everybody else in this room right now knows exactly what building was broken into on June 17th, 1972. JT, he's picking James Joyce as well. So I don't even want to. Yeah, Brian says Watergate without any options being provided. I believe that's going to be the most popular answer of the day. JT or James or Mr. Taney, I just refer to him by all of his names. He has also chosen the Watergate. For those of you in doubt or want to know what your options are before you make a guess, your options are the White House, the Pentagon, the Watergate Complex, which I think is a hilarious name for calling a hotel a complex, or the United Nations headquarters. Looks like pretty unanimous here. Looks like we're all going for the Watergate because we've all seen the movie Forrest Gump. Question number 4. What famous author was born on June 18th, 1942? I can tell you who it's not. It's not James Joyce. What famous author was born on June 18th, 1942? And your options are J.K. Rowling, Mark Twain, George Orwell, or Agatha Christie. Famous author, born June 18th, 1942. I am trying to guess. Who could it be? All right, I think I know who it isn't. And so that narrows it down to who I think it could be. What famous author was born June 18th, 1942? J.K. Rowling, the billionaire who did the Harry Potter thing. Mark Twain, non-billionaire who did a whole bunch of things. Samuel Clemens, you say. George Orwell, 1984, that's an Animal Farm. I think that's the only things I know of him. And Agatha Christie, the murder novel lady. Murder, She Wrote. Murder, She Wrote. Roger's going with Agatha Christie. James is going with Agatha Christie. 1942, so, you know, they're probably dead, or they're very close to dead. I don't think Rowling is that old. I don't believe it's Twain. I don't believe it's Orwell. I am also going to go with Agatha. Or Agatha, as she's also known. You know, going back from earlier. So, yes, Murder, She Wrote was Angela Lansbury, but who sang the song, Smarty? Fink has no idea, doesn't want to take a guess because he's afraid. There is no penalty for guessing. That's why we have multiple choice answers. We've all made our choices. Moving on to question number 5. Don't worry, there's only 7. On June 19th, 1865. Here we go. Here we go. June 19th, 1865. Enslaved people in Texas received news of what significant event? I do not believe this should be a holiday. I do not believe this should be a holiday. I don't believe the nation should be celebrating the day that Texas got its mail late. Okay? Everybody else, for 2.5 years, the slaves are freed, except in Texas, tiny little portion of Texas. Your options are the Emancipation Proclamation, the end of the Civil War, the ratification of the 13th Amendment, or the abolition of slavery. Now, that's the options that it gave us. And we got Juneteenth, we got Emancipation, we got Juneteenth with a bunch of pride flags. I don't think those two things go together, but whatever works for you, sweetie. I believe the answer is A, the Emancipation Proclamation. I stand by my position that it should not be a national holiday because Texas got its mail late. One of the comedians recently, Brian is also going with the gay pride flag. Is there a Juneteenth flag that looks very much like the gay pride flag, or did they just take it over? Roger B. Taney fought to keep the slaves. That's why we pronounce it differently. Slightly embarrassing. How do you pronounce it? Slaves? All right. My answer is the Emancipation Proclamation, which was a great story about that. If you've never been to Gettysburg and you never paid a tour guide to learn crazy things about Gettysburg, when they did the dedication for the Gettysburg Cemetery, the guest speaker was not Abraham Lincoln. The guest speaker was some blowhard who stood on those haloed grounds and spoke for like 2.5 hours and bored the crowd to death in a cemetery. Great place to be bored to death. The president said, "Do you mind if I come down?" I don't know how Lincoln spoke. I think I don't know how he spoke. He came, mind if I come down and say a few words? And like, no, we don't mind if you come down and say a few words. So the blowhard, after 2.5 hours, gets off the stage, thinking he's the man. And like, here's your president. Ha, 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 ha. And the president comes up there and in 2.5 minutes delivers a speech that is long since remembered more than anything that blowhard said. Gettysburg is awesome. Highly recommend you check it out. Roger B. Tawney is the pronunciation. Break the chains, let the freak flag fly. James, you're going to have to explain that to me one of these days so I understand a little bit more about where you're coming from. Don't be embarrassed. Today, the 23rd of June, let it go. On what iconic toy was patented on June 20th, 1974? Iconic toy patented June 20th, 1974. They got some options for those of us that were alive in the 70s. Was it Legos? Were it Lego bricks, Rubik's Cubes, Etch-a-Sketch, or a Slinky? These are your options. James chimes in with Frisbee. A great guess by Whammo. But wrong answer. It's either Legos, Rubik's Cube, Etch-a-Sketch, or Slinky. I've got lawn darts. I love lawn darts. I got a Rubik's Cube. I got a Slinky. I saw somebody with a Ren and Stimpy t-shirt on recently that just said, "It's wood," and it showed a picture of a log. And we got into an elevator together, and I sang all the way down on the elevator with him. It's log. It's log. It's log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood. It's log. It's log. It's better than bad. It's good. I would choose, I think Etch-a-Sketch is a good choice. I really do. I think the Slinky was figured out a few years before 74. Rubik's Cube probably figured out a few years before, but not released until years after. And Legos, I think they've been around forever. I believe the pyramids are put together with Legos, actually. Just they're really dusty, and you can't get into the cracks and crevices to find that out. I'm going with Etch-a-Sketch. Roger's going with Etch-a-Sketch. James is going with Slinky. Brian is going with the Rubik's. And no guess from Austin. The young lad must have fallen back asleep. He's afraid to guess. There's nothing wrong. Oh, he's changing to Etch-a-Sketch. Blackjack, no trade back. We'll find out together soon. And our final question for this week in history. On June 21st, 1788, New Hampshire became the 9th state to do what? June 12th, 1788. Austin chimes in with Rubik's. New Hampshire became the 9th state to do what? I'm not looking at my options. I've got my guess. 17. I'm going to say ratify the Constitution. That's what I believe the answer is. We'll find out what the options are next. Oh, number 1, to ratify the U.S. Constitution. B, declare independence from Britain. C, abolish slavery. Or D, establish universal suffrage. You want me to believe that those hicks up in New Hampshire decided that everybody could vote? Not up here. You can't get there from here. Yeah, I think everybody saw 1788 as the date and realized that the important thing happening around that time frame was the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. Good guesses, everybody. Let's find out how we did. What famous scientist was born in 1767? We all got it wrong. It was Marie Curie. Marie Curie? We all got that wrong. I don't know why. I just felt like, she discovered radium. I thought that was much later in life. But nope. Or maybe AI got that wrong. It does happen. Sometimes AI gets it wrong. I really feel like we should fact check that one. Number 2, what significant event occurred in Dublin, Ireland on June 16, 1904? Those of us who chose the publication of Ulysses were correct. Suffrage. 5 men were arrested for breaking into the Watergate Hotel. Correct. The famous author, born in 1942, was J.K. Rowling. We got that wrong, I think. Number 5. See, this is what I'm talking about. AI gets it wrong sometimes, okay? November 7th, 1867 is Marie Curie. Yeah, 1867, November. That's just wrong, AI. It's just wrong. We're going to start playing a new game where we find out that AI is actually stupid. June 19th, 1865, unanimously, those of us in this group decided that the answer was the Emancipation Proclamation. The news of the Emancipation Proclamation finally making it to Texas. AI chose the abolition of slavery. As your adjudicator, if you said the Emancipation Proclamation, points. If you said anyone other than Marie Curie, points. I want you to feel good on your Sunday morning. Price is Right rules, right? Everything without going over. Number 6, the toy invented on June 20th, 1974 was the Rubik's Cube. Good for those of you who guessed that. And finalmente, June 21st, 1788, at least we can all agree that New Hampshire ratified the Constitution. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the supplemental. We didn't have any community service note this week, but we do have the base event coming up on Friday. If you're in the central Harrisburg area and you want to come on base and see some fireworks and eat from some food trucks, and you don't have a sponsor, reach out to me. We'll get you on. No problem. Hope to see you there. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, the latest episode is about to be posted. I'll finish editing that up and have it out soon. And then we're taping a new one later today. So I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. If you're a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love. And let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Until next time, stay safe. Awkward moments where I look for the button.